To what extent are our fears innate? When we hatch goose eggs in an incubator, and then above the baby birds pass a form simulating a goose in flight, the birds stretch their necks and call out. But if we invert the direction of the silhouette, it conjures the shape of a falcon. The response of the baby birds is immediate. They'll crouch in fear, though they've never before seen a falcon, without any instruction. An innate fear helps them to survive. But in humans, to what ancient dangers might our innate fears correspond? You want the fear to go away, but what if the Monado could cost you her life? Would you still want it?
You forgot something. You will be needing the transport cases, right? I'm coming along as well.
Fiora! Get back!
I won't let you hurt any more people. We will save Colony 9!
You will know the pain and suffering you caused the Emperor and Fiora! Fiora! Get out of here! Run!
What? Don't you care about me? I could have died.
Hiç gerek yok daha fazlasına, zamanı tutmaya, fezaya uçmaya. Geride kaldılar,
Is that?
geride kaldı o günler. Sen varken taptığım kasvetli şehirler.
Fiora, you're still alive.
Başka bir evrende en güzel halinle.
You have not changed at all.
Sen hayata karış, ben daha
Wait!
da bitecek.
No!
Kırgınım kendime, üşüyorum gölgende. Henüz bilmesen de belki bir gün gideceğim.
Wait! Fiora!
Başka bir evrende en güzel halinle. Sen hayata karış, ben daha da biteceğim.
I'll kill you!
Kırgınım kendime, üşüyorum gölgende.
It's been a long time
Henüz bilmesen de belki
since I last had this dream.
gideceğim.
I reached out for a piece of scrap metal, and then I fell into the ground.
Touching the grass can mean different things for everyone, as even surrounded by this lush green, fluttering insects and soft breeze, a piece of scrap metal is all this guy can think about. All Shulk desires is the machine surrounded by nature, lost in thought, breaking the harmony of those natural sounds, fumbling through the machinery because he can't unsee it now. A dragonfly flutters around and lands by him, and Shulk tracks with his eyes finally a connection to something real for once, only for the intrigue to be directed towards the leftover mechons right over there. A clear sign of military autism over the biological, and whenever he obsesses on tins and cans a little too much, Ryan is always there for him so that he can play with them in peace. That's what best friends are for, right? When Monado gets activated because of Ryan's carelessness, Shulk doesn't know what to do. On the one hand, it was Ryan time as always, so can't get too angry, but he's oblivious to the world at large, other people's thoughts and emotions. The real danger wasn't the Monado or Ryan. It was Fiora.
What? What do you mean it's broken? Don't you care about me? I could have died!
You're not hurt, are you?
I'm sure that's all very clever. But why were you more worried about a machine than me, Shulk?
Now, don't let Shulk's autism give the impression that he doesn't care for her, nor being too easily pleased with Fiora's sandwiches with his heads in the clouds at the Outlook Park. Once again, the scenery doesn't do anything for him, but the world, the Bionis itself, Monado, now that consumes his thoughts. Dunban, Fiora's brother, used the Monado to destroy the Mechon, but now what? Who is gonna hold a torch after him while he's still recovering from the injuries? Everything's fine now, but it won't last.
This is great. It tastes so good.
Really?
It's amazing.
Oh, Shulk, you say that every day.
Not quite. It's always delicious, but today it's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. I used some special herbs and spices today. So if you said it was just the same as usual, I'd know for sure you had no sense of taste.
What?
Ah, the breeze feels so good.
Yeah. I'd forgotten what it feels like. I never thought it could be so quiet here.
You're spending too much time with Ryan. You're getting used to all the noise he makes.
Yeah, maybe.
It's so peaceful. You know, Shulk, I hope every day can be like this, always.
That's the question, isn't it? I wish everything could stay like this too, but if nothing lasts, then that includes both the good and the bad, right? No, that's the last thing he wants to hear right now. He doesn't want to accept what happened. Even if not much can be done right now, he will try. Could he have prevented this if the visions kicked in a bit faster? Why did this have to happen? Why her, but not him? No, this wasn't fair. I don't care why they did it. To exact revenge on that face Mechon, now Shulk will set on a journey, hoping that by the end of it, her blood won't just stay on the ground. The Mechon will fucking pay. Bionis' divine blade, the Monado, is this massive allegory for fear, showing visions of doom and gloom, making you utterly paralyzed in anxiety to do anything about it. All you're saying might be just one of the possibilities, but then why does it feel so real? Imagine the burden of the wielder, giving you this power that you can change lives, framing the Mechons as the source of all evil. A clear distinction between the organic and the machine, Bionis and Mechonis, is made. As much as this feels like a biological fact or a scientific approach to being objective, ultimately, Shulk will see the kinks of that armor as well. Separating the yin from the yang isn't that easy. And one thing that wasn't in the cards is without Fiora keeping him present, without her jokes and spicy sandwiches, without her love, the quote-unquote Ryan time, his friends can only do so much. Shulk frankly doesn't know how to function by himself. Despite Dunban and Ryan by his side, Shulk was still in free fall, lost his center of gravity, his moral compass. And while it may appear like Shulk's entire world turned upside down at this moment, I can assure you nothing really changed, because his obsession now turned away from tinkering with machines to the idea that his pain will end only when the face Mechon is dead. It may not bring her back, but it's better than crying over Fiora's grave. Anger, the desire for revenge, might appear productive in the moment, filling us with this sense of drive and energy and purpose. Their intensity concentrates the mind and puts us in this tainted flow state. But is that worth it? Zanza's past caught up with him. Literally, it was his fault, right? He fell down because of the Monado. She's dead because of Shulk, not the metal face. Even if that's not true, it certainly feels that way right now. All these visions, it's a huge burden to bear, that which debilitates and isolates the wielder. makes you feel responsible for these lives, now written before your eyes, making you think you can play God, and what's worse is you should, right? This entire stretch is like a blur for Shulk. He is meeting with Sharla, Melia, Ricky, I mean, you name it, wielding the Monado for them, but honestly, what's the point? What good are seeing these visions and helping these random-ass people and changing the passage of fate, as Zanza likes to say, when he couldn't change hers? That was the only one that mattered. And he fucking blew it. Do you know who she reminds me of? A certain salvager who lives far, far away in Allrest above the cloud sea. Rex was just like Fiora. Whenever Pyra was stuck in her own mind, feeling disconnected from the world, in this self-pity, disgust, and fear, it was Rex who accepted her as she is, holding her hand when she fell down. Mythra may be lost after the Aegis War, but with Rex, she realized they could be lost together now. After all, why do you think Adam wasn't it, the master driver for the Aegis? I mean, why couldn't he guide Mythra better for her to make decisions she could be proud of? As Jin said, she's nowhere near her potential, because she wasn't comfortable around Adam, always trying to prove something to him, unconsciously, as he saw her as a child and himself as a father, while wanting the best for her, not being able to put your trust in someone. Seeing her as a threat to humanity is not gonna cut it. She will pick up on that. And precisely because he was unable to bear the shame at the end, after one fuck-up, he buried Mythra below the cloud sea himself. Instead of urging her to open her eyes, he gave up. But Rex isn't like that. Rex didn't fear Aegis' power like Adam. You can chalk it up to being young or inexperienced or straight up naive, but it doesn't matter. Rex wasn't there to witness a tragedy, but even if he was, this passive resignation wasn't the answer. Rex treated Pyra just like he would any blade, accepting both Pyra's kindness and Mythra's rashness. Despite having an affinity for Pyra, he didn't play favorites. Now that is unconditional love. In fact, Rex overextends himself more than Aegis ever did, risking everyone's lives trying to protect them. He was so similar to her. Half the time, what we want in life and what we need are ironically different things. Mythra needed someone who doesn't overanalyze the angle of attacks and the radius of damage, but someone who lunged forward despite that damage. Pyra needed that confidence, naivete, the conviction she lost that day when Milton died. Rex got Pyra out of her mind and into her heart. And that's precisely what Fiora has been doing for Shulk all along. In fact, maybe one day, Nicole will hear about it. This girl has two hearts in one body, Fiora and Meyneth, the intersection between the Homs and Machina. She represents the times when Arglist and Hegel were living in harmony, hand in hand. The times when Bionis and Mechanis weren't at war. Similarly, this is beyond Shulk, as Fiora knows Dunban cries when no one is watching. Ever since she's around, Dunban started to listen to his conscience more. You know, the opposite of the one where he was about to kill Mumkar.
Where is your killer instinct? Now is the time!
That was certainly an old-time low for him, giving into anger, as if not for Shulk, he would have done it. Killed Mumkar on the spot.
I hate him, Dunban! For what he did to Fiora and the Emperor! So of course I want to get my revenge! But Face Mechon are not like the others. They're people. Like us. Are you really willing to kill another Homs?
Yes, sometimes needs must.
Even if it's Fiora? What then? When we set out, I wanted to destroy all Mechon. But now, I know that there are people inside. I have to know why. What's the reason for all of this? Why do Bionis and Mechonis have to keep on fighting? I have to find out why!
So, that is your fight.
And Shulk only questioned his resolve because of Fiora right here, who did the exact same thing for him. Fiora consciously protected the faced Mechon. Think about it. Protecting the person who fucking killed you. Why? Because they're not some scrap metal. Because even Mumkar is a person. He left Dixon and Dunban to die out there, all alone. Yes, Mumkar is a coward. But underneath that arrogance, there's nothing there. Just like Zanza, he's an empty, hollow shell of a man. Someone who constantly pushes people away. Fiora says that not even assholes like Mumkar deserves this. No one is irredeemable, she says. And that's why she stopped Shulk's blade. And following her lead, Shulk now stopped Dunban's here. This is what breaking the cycle ultimately means. To look at the same person but seeing someone else. Even if that is just a potential, putting your faith in who they can be. And as a result, Dunban handled Dixon's betrayal much healthier than Mumkar's, all because of this girl. Right here. Despite being in this messy love triangle, Melly and Fiora confided in each other. They could be immature about it, but they know better. Fiora points out how much Ryan had grown while she was gone. Ryan realized how Shulk doesn't need his big brother to protect him anymore. Fiora has this infectious vibe that just brings out the best in people. It was always there, even before Meyneth. She wasn't just a girl. Maybe that's why Fiora was chosen as her vessel. And if that's true, then the only thing that could soften Shulk's freefall right now, like a moth drawn to a flame, Shulk needed her now. More than ever.
Close your eyes, come to me, feel alright, just dance with me all through the night.
Fiora!
Turn it out,
She's still breathing.
close to you,
Wake up.
I feel good, I just not feeling
Come on!
good.
Wake up!
Tell me, baby. Feel alright.
She needs water.
I feel good. Just want you to step with me, dance with me, here with me, feel alright. I feel good on you, alright.
Fiora, you're awake.
Do you remember? My name is
I can't believe it. My first kiss.
You do remember me. Fiora.
Of course I do. Shulk.
In my head, there are two versions of me. One of them is saying, listen to what Dunban said. What about the other one? It keeps shouting, make them pay, destroy every single one of them, and it won't stop getting louder. The other voice inside Shulk, Zanza, is what makes him say Meyneth is evil for taking control of her body without asking how Fiora feels about her. He lacks empathy, yet again. The theory of mind, the ability to understand that others have their own distinct mental states, including beliefs, desires, intentions, and emotions, which may be different from one's own. Zanza, obviously, doesn't get this. Seeing Homs and Machina as a bunch of pawns on his chessboard, combined with his arrogance, it just obscures the truth even more, desiring control under the guise of friendship. But the plot twist is Shulk, doesn't get it either. Some people are particularly clueless. The other day, Shulk gave Ricky an old machine part, for instance. He did. What was he thinking? Everyone knows if it's not food, Ricky is not going to be interested. I was there. Poor Ricky, he must be so confused. I just stood and laughed. Shulk is a bit slow on the uptake. Maybe he will get the hang of it someday. Which is precisely my point.
Shulk!
I realized that we both share the same pain. Hegel, I don't have any reason to kill you.
Even if you do not, I still do.
I know. But I won't do it.
You have used the Monado well.
This desire for vengeance is just a distraction from your sadness. Your thoughts become a plan to create a specific outcome, a means to an end. The end justifies the means is Zanza's game. Not yours. Up until Prison Island, Shulk was still focused on influencing those around him, the visions, creating the quote-unquote the best timeline for others, without realizing he's directly playing into Zanza's hand, which is why he stops using the Monado at the end altogether. In a world without a god, this childish idea of changing the passage of fate won't fly. He simply has no use for it. Shulk's visions have changed. They stopped coming from Zanza's Monado, but from himself, as all visions before Prison Island were based on demonizing the Mechonis and seeking revenge. But after Prison Island, a shift happens. The visions are now depicting Mechons in danger and prompt him to save them. Why is the Bionis and Mechonis are fighting in the first place? What was the point, he thought? We ask these questions because this is not about influence, not about changing the future. What Shulk needed was genuine connections to those around him, Homs and Machina. Affinity is what it's called, something Shulk missed along the way, still thinking about that day.
We should cut our losses and mourn those who perished.
Never, Melia. The men you lost, I can tell they were dear to you. I know only too well that desire for revenge, and the crushing pain of losing those close to you. I can't stand by and let another person experience what I have. This monster is going down.
It is ironic how he's trying to empower Melia's individuality, but he ends up just robbing her of it. And the reason is, Shulk has struggled with taking initiative all his life. It was always his friends seeking him out, while he was just off on his own, thinking about thoughts way above his pay grade. But ever since Fiora's death, he could take initiative for the first time by killing that Mechon over there, charting a course for the Prison Island, taking decisive action to make them pay. That sense of power is alluring, but it's also ultimately not real, just like the Monado, a red herring. What Shulk needed was to accept what happened to Fiora, accept Hegel as he is, and seeing himself in him, consciously letting go of the idea of black and white and good and evil.
It's difficult to believe that two such huge things ever fought each other. I wonder how the Machina felt at the time.
Must have been horrible.
Scary too.
Fear robs us of reason. Out of fear, we commit terrible atrocities and call them acts of self-preservation.
Fear. It must be what's driving this. What's made Hegel act this way.
Bionis and Mechonis, Homs and Machina. I told you in the beginning how these distinctions could be scientific. But here's the thing, even scientific theorems are open to interpretation. Something being biological or machine doesn't mean they're different, in essence. Shulk and Hegel held a mirror to each other in these opposing worlds. They were the same because they were broken by the exact same pain. If a solution existed to this conflict, then the scientific approach is not one of segmentation, making arbitrary distinctions, but of integration, seeing the threads that binds it all, that connects us to one another. The German philosopher Friedrich Hegel does just that, arguing how the thesis and the antithesis rest at the fabric of this world, in all areas of life. As the opposing ideas clash and challenge each other, the arising spark, according to Hegel, leads to something greater than the sum of its parts. Shulk as Zanza and Fiora as Meyneth. More specifically, Bionis' medicine and Mechanis' technology. What would happen if you clashed them? Using a regeneration chamber discovered in the cylinder hangar at the outskirts of Colony 9, these two worlds combine the high-end medicine and Machina technology to restore somebody's body to its former glory. The synthesis, as Hegel describes, is what resulted in hope this time around, unlike Alpha or even the ghosts. The third party to this conflict wasn't a thing. It wasn't a philosophical idea. It was something that could only happen with collaboration, with collective effort. This was the solution Shulk was hoping for all along. This scene at the beach stands in stark contrast to the beginning of the game, going full circle but now with a catch. Shulk didn't see the dragonfly back there. But now the soft breeze of the wind and the beautiful waves of the blue were the only things in his mind. He was finally not dismissive, but open. All this work we've done to bridge the gap between the Bionis and Mechanis led to this moment. While I do prefer long hair personally, I think she looks fire with that short hair. And I can hear it. The skeptic in you says, "What the hell do you know? Was this the answer? Come on." In a world without a god, we know what atrocities, what crimes will be committed by humanity once again. We'll be our own tormentors. Under the guise of self-preservation, we will destroy each other. This story never ends. Where's this hope coming from? Well, what if I said I can see it? Clear as day.
I can't kill you, but I can stop your blade. And I'll do it. Over and over again until we understand each other.